Everyone, back tuning into today's first video within the weekend forecast, as always on a Saturday lunchtime. So you're going to have a detailed look at weather for the coming week across the British Isles. Quite an interesting week coming up, actually. You're going to start off really unsettled, lots of heavy rain up to midweek, and then it's going to turn drier but colder in the second half of the week. And there is actually, despite being exceptionally mild early in the week, there is actually a little bit of wintry potential as we get through to the end of the week. So have a look at all the detail in a second. But before I get on with that, just say what's coming up later at Gaz Weather Vids. We're going to have the latest El Nino update on the ENSO page this evening. Probably be around 6 o'clock, something like that. So that's going to be having a detailed look at how things have developed over the past month. We do these every month, and we'll be having a detailed look at how things have developed with El Nino over the past month since we did it in October. And then tomorrow we've got the final seasonal model roundup coming up at Gaz Weather Vids. That'll be tomorrow morning for the winter of 2015-2016, getting very, very close to the Gaz Weather Vids winter forecast now. So loads of updates coming up over the weekend. Do keep checking that. But if you're along the weekend forecast, just to say about the ads at Gaz Weather Vids, there's these articles on all of the pages, so have a browse widgets and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, thanks so much for doing that. This video, as most page, open up the content, when you watch it and they'll close back up again. That's helped to pay for the website also. And of course, the Christmas shop is open. It's phenomenal success again this year, so thanks to everyone that's done their Christmas shopping at Amazon via the Amazon banners in Gaz Christmas shop. If you've still got Christmas shopping to do, of course it's still quite early, it's about a month away to Christmas, so if you've still got any Christmas shopping to do, just click the button that says Christmas shop, and then when you get to our Christmas shop, you just click through the Amazon banners. That's the key. There is a search widget where you can search for whatever item you want to buy, but probably more easily is to click through the Amazon banners, go to Amazon directly when you do Christmas shopping. Because you're going from Gaz Weather Vids to Amazon, we get a revenue fee on the things that you are purchasing, and thanks very much for doing that. The websites we're using for the weekend forecast coming from theweatherout.com, weathercentral.d. You can find the link to both of the websites on the links page. So here's the radar picture, and it's another very unsettled day. We've got heavy rain across much of the north and west right now, so it's stretched out through Scotland into northern England. It is clearing Northern Ireland with more persistent rain, but still heavy showers across much of Northern Ireland, and then coming down into Wales and southwest parts of England. The Midlands, central, southern, eastern England has been mainly dry through this morning, but this rain will be pushing in through the course of this afternoon. Quite cold as well, so there is some sleet or snow over the high ground of Scotland in particular. Here's the Stockton pressure chart for today. So it's not only wet, it's also very windy. You can see we've got low pressure centre to the north of Scotland and really tightly packed isobars across the country, particularly focused on England and Wales. So not only will we be having a lot of rain moving in through the course of today, also has some very strong winds as well, possibly reaching 60 miles an hour around southern and western hills and coasts, which is enough to be producing some damage and certainly gale force gusts. So a pretty unpleasant afternoon, really. Cloud and heavy rain sweeping across the country, driven on by strong winds, especially across England and Wales, and feeling quite cold as well, with temperatures from around 3 to 8 Celsius, and it is cold enough, as I said, for some snow over the higher ground of Scotland. Overnight, we'll lose that more persistent area of rain this evening, and then it'll turn drier central eastern parts of the country, but more showery rain will continue across western Scotland, Northern Ireland, some sleet or snow again over higher ground. You notice still tightly packed isobars, so whilst we probably lose the worst of the winds this evening, it will stay windy overnight, and there could be further gale force gusts really around southern and western hills and coasts. Temperatures will be turning milder in the south though, so probably no lower than today's maximums really, at around 7 or 8 degrees across much of England and Wales. Cold for Scotland though, with temperatures there of just 2 or 3 degrees, and that's why I've got that sleet or snow over higher ground. Now we go through into Sunday, another very unsettled day. Seems like again going to be really windy across many parts of the country, and there'll be a persistent band of rain through Northern Ireland, particularly into southern Scotland, down into northern England. There could be a little bit of sleet or snow on the leading edge of that across parts of southern Scotland. Central and northern Scotland will be drier, brighter and colder with a few wintry showers. Persistent rain coming into Wales later on in the day in southwestern England. Leaves the Midlands, southern, southeast England, probably with a fair amount of dry weather. Some bits and pieces of rain coming and go, but I think probably fairly dry in the southeast, but it will be windy across England and Wales again, with winds easily up to 40-50 miles an hour, some places going at 60 miles an hour, gale force gusts certainly possible, with structural damage again around hills and coasts in particular. But it'll be exceptionally mild down in the south, so that's the good news. At least it will be mild despite all of this wind and rain. Temperatures there of just, or reaching, I should say, 12 or 13 degrees potentially. That's 55 Fahrenheit. But Scotland will be colder, just 3 or 4 or 5 degrees there across the far north of Scotland. Now we've got a weather front virtually strung out across England and Wales as we're going through into Monday. So that produces a lot of heavy rain. I can actually show you the facts chart for Monday into Tuesday. This is from the UK Met Office, the human interpretation of the models by forecasters at the Met Office. So you see there is this front here, Monday and Tuesday, strung out, and notice it's stretching all the way from Russia over here to Canada, really, over here, close to Newfoundland. So, yeah, it's divides a big dividing line between mild air to the south and colder air, winter, basically trying to come down from the north. And of course, this front, with these waves running along it, produces pulses of heavy rain across much of the country. So it does look as though it's going to be a very unsettled day for England and Wales, particularly on Monday, with outbreaks of rain on and off all day. Pulses of heavy rain coming through as you get those little ripples running along the weather front. Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England will be drier and brighter, but a few wintry showers possible across the north of Scotland. Remember, this front is marking the divide between mild autumnal conditions to the south and cold air and winter trying to come in from the north. So again, big temperature contrast up to 15 Celsius, potentially in the far southeast. That's around 59 Fahrenheit, whereas northern Scotland probably no higher, but around 3 degrees. Now that mild air and the weather fronts will push northwards on Tuesday, so the outbreaks of persistent heavy rain will last all night, Monday into Tuesday across England and Wales, and then push northwards again, and that could give snow on the leading edge across parts of Scotland. But it will be Scotland and Northern Ireland and Northern England that has the wet weather on Tuesday, whereas many parts of England and Wales will be mostly dry, will stay windy with a lot of cloud. Temperatures still very mild in the south at around 13, 14. Wouldn't rule out a 15 degrees Celsius. That's exceptionally mild for the first day of December. Cooler for Scotland, although even here, a bit of a mild push with the cold air becoming restricted just to the far north of Scotland on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, the cold air and the cold front will start to push back southwards again. So that rain that pushes northwards on Tuesday will return south again on Wednesday. So a really unsettled week this week, with outbreaks of rain coming down across England and Wales through the day, brighter skies following to Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England, and turning colder again in those brighter skies. So wintry showers certainly possible for central and northern Scotland, probably slow down to low levels actually across central northern Scotland by the end of Wednesday. Temperatures will still be very mild in the south at around 12 or 13 Celsius, but from the Midlands northwards you will start to feel those temperatures turning colder during the course of Wednesday. A little bit of a problem on Thursday, and it does need keeping an eye on, because that cold front will push down into the south overnight Wednesday into Thursday. It may not clear the far south of the country. It could actually start to push back northwards again if you get a bit of a ripple running along it. And what we have to factor in is that there's cold air coming down from the north. So it's a very low risk at this stage, but I wouldn't rule out the chance of a little bit of wintry weather across parts of England and Wales on Thursday. Certainly I think we'll have a risk of outbreaks of rain along the south coast and through the southeast. If that front should return northwards into parts of South Wales, the Midlands, East Anglia, that sort of area, if it was to get that far northwards, is coming up into cold air. So there could be, and I'm only saying it's around a 10% chance like that, there could be some sleet or snow on Thursday. So one to keep an eye on. Further north of that, through Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England, we're basically just looking at cloud and sunny spells, a few fair weather clouds, and possibly one or two wintry showers in the far north and west of Scotland. That cold front will finally clear away overnight, Thursday into Friday, and probably a frosty start on Friday. And then we've got an area of low pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. This is coming into quite cold air, and the suggestion here through Friday is that a bit of a stall is taking place. So cloud and outbreaks of rain moving in during Friday after a frosty start. That's coming into cold air, so it could produce sleet or snow across Scotland and northern England if a stall occurs on Friday. So lots of ifs and buts you'll notice about Thursday and Friday. But if a stall should occur, then the sleet or snow risk could be a little bit more widespread, actually, on Friday. So again, Thursday, Friday, a lot of uncertainty, but sort of a case of watch this space and let's just see what happens as we go through into Friday, into weekend. Beyond Friday, high pressure is building back in nicely across the country, so a lot of dry weather over the weekend, but it will be quite cold with frost and fog at night. Finally, having a look at the charts from the weather outlook, just so you can see weather in your area over the coming week. So here's all of the rain piling in from the west through the course of Saturday. It's going to be very windy across many parts of the country as well. As we move through into Sunday, we're going to find more rain up in the northwest, mainly dry in the southeast, becoming very mild in the south. And then as we go through into Monday, that rain is across England and Wales, a very wet day for England and Wales with brighter but colder air coming into Scotland. The rain pushes back north and west again as we go through into Tuesday with mostly dry weather in the south, very mild, exceptionally mild for the start of December. Then the cold front's coming down across England and Wales again on Wednesday with more rain, significantly colder but drier for Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England. And then the uncertainty for the end of the week. This is showing quite a nice, dry and bright but quite cold day for Thursday. But we do have to think about the chance, no more than that, of a little bit of rain across the south, and if it was to push further northwards, maybe something a bit wintry. And then we get through into Friday, the end of the week, finds more rain coming in from the Atlantic this time, and that's coming into cold air, possibly with a risk of some snow in northern and northeastern parts of the country. Then it turns mostly dry but cold with frost and fog over the weekend. So loads coming on. I hope you've been able to stick with it because it really is a complicated forecast this week, but essentially very unsettled, very wet and windy through the first half of the week, drier and colder through the second half of the week, with a little bit of wintry potential all week actually across Scotland, where you're on the colder side of these weather fronts, and then later on towards the end of the week, perhaps a bit more widespread with that wintry potential. So it'll be a case of watch your space for Thursday and Friday. That's all for now then, and thanks for watching.